So I encourage people to push their code to GitHub so that it can be a portfolio for them when they want to reach out to future employers, or if you want to have a gig and you want to show them that you can actually do the work, you just refer them to your GitHub page. Or it doesn't have to be GitHub, you can also use Bitbucket, but GitHub is more popular. We will start now, and then if anyone has any questions, they will ask at their convenience, or you can also raise your hand or push it to the chat, this nice button over here, chat with everyone. Let me share with you the link for day 4. Just one moment. Let me share the link to the article. And we can proceed. Let me share my screen with you guys, and then we can walk together. Okay? Good. I'll go to github.com. So, as I mentioned, today we are going to create a repository. A repository is where you get to store your code, your source code for a project, not for every work, for just the particular project that you're working on. And then last week we linked our GitHub to our computer through SSH, right? And that process, you can do it on your workstation or on your home station. The process is the same. So to create a new repository, you come to your GitHub dashboard and you click this new green button, right? And then you can import a repository if you have a project in elsewhere, but for this instance we are just creating a new repository for ourselves. So since I already have one called 100 Days of Python, I'm just going to call this one test demo. Okay, and then you can add a readme file, which is basically a description of your project. A git ignore file is a file where you get to choose which files you don't want to be uploaded on your GitHub for your project. For example, if you have a file that has all the secret keys, you don't want to upload that one, so you put it on the ignore. If you have maybe a piece of file that has just junk code and you don't want to import it to the server, you also do the same. And it has a lot of options that you can choose from to ignore, right? So normally for me, I just create a blank ignore and then I add things by themselves. You can also choose a license for your project. If it's open source project, you choose which of these licenses can work with it. And you can learn more about licenses from this link. We're not going to talk about that today. So a description of our repository is, this is a test repo. You can make it public. So when you make it public, it means everyone can see it. If you make it private, it's you and people who you have access to can see it. But if it's public, anyone who goes to GitHub and Googles and searches test demo, yours will also be on the lineup. Sawa. Good. So we create our repo. And then nataka kusema leo niseme na Kiswahili. Unachukua sasa hii repository yenye iko kwa kompyuta yako, unaiweka kwa, unataka kuichukua hiyo code uilink sasa kwa kompyuta yako ya nyumbani. Unakuja hapa GitHub, hapa kwa terminal. Just one moment, nipasie muda kidogo. We come to a place where we'd like to store the code at, yeah? You come and you create a new folder. So for the purpose of this, I'm going to call it test demo. You can call yours 100 days or or practice, whatever name you feel like is appropriate for you, yeah? And you go into test demo and you open your terminal. First thing you do is you initiate Git by doing git init, and when you ls, you're going to have when you list, it's going to have a Git file. Now this is good to have a Git file. Next thing we do is we come to our repository, which is this one, and here at the code you can clone your code via HTTPS or SSH. We are going to use SSH. Cloning means taking the work as it is and putting it to your workstation. Can be home, can be at Jobo, whichever you feel like works for you. So you come and you say git clone, and then you paste the code. And as you can see, we already have the work there. So if we come and we list everything, we can see test demo. If we move into test demo, ndio hiyo kila kitu sasa, the readme, everything. So the past command we've done is clone. Cloning means taking the code as it is and putting it to your workstation. Let me get another person's code and then we clone it as well, so you can get a better example. What can we search for? It doesn't have to be me, so we can search face recognition. Now all these are public repositories. They chose to make it public, yeah? So we can take this one, has the most stars and it's in Python. Good. Updated in 2024. That's not too recent, so it's good. So if you want to copy all this code, you can see this is his readme file and it has an MIT license, so it's generated when you put the licensing hapo kwa creating the repos. So you look through the readme to get a clue of what the software is about. And for those of us who are in CS class and you have this project, I'll send you my bill. So these are the requirements also that are needed for the class, for the software to run. And when you've done going through the readme, you are satisfied with everything, you copy it SSH, and then you run the same command. You say git clone, and it's now going to start cloning. It's going to take a while, depends on the size and your download speed. So the bigger the file, the longer it's going to take, but eventually it's going to happen. So far, does anyone have any questions? Okay, good. So it's copying, yeah? And right now it's at 81%. You can go through GitHub. There's code for everything in this place. That's why I like using Git. I prefer GitHub to Bitbucket. You can search in a particular repository, you can search in the user's GitHub page, or you can even search the whole GitHub. You can even do collaborations, like you see this repository has these owners, which you can find normally listed at the bottom. Yeah, here. No, but you can also go to issues. Oh, they have branches. This one has branches. So a branch is like a section, yeah? Think of it like a tree. There is the main branch, which has which is where the code is going to be collected from, and then a branch is like everyone's work in its own section. So for example, you might have Joanne doing her own work in her own branch, and then Tracy might be doing in her own branch, and then Dominic might be doing in their own branch, and then eventually you merge them all to the main branch, right? So that's what happens when you're collaborating, because if you everyone all four of us put everything in one branch, it's going to lead to some confusion. And in more segmented workplaces, there are people whose work is to read the code, mostly the senior devs. They read the code and then they make sure that whatever is being merged into the main branch doesn't cause any conflicts. Okay, so this one has the main branch is almost always called a master, and these are the other branches. Interesting. They have funny names, but interesting. Okay, you can even see if it's behind or if it's ahead of the main branch. These are the pull requests issued. This one looks like it's an you can also do automations on them. It's a really cool software, and it started off, so GitHub was created by Linus Torvalds, who was the same person that created Linux, and then it was eventually sold to Microsoft. It has a really cool history behind it. So back to us. Let's go back to us. No, I want to go to my account. Home. There. So let's go back to us. Go back to our test demo. We've done everything. Now this is after it's been cloned. If we list, we can see face recognition. Oh, it overrid my work. I forgot that part. So unless we put a new a directory, a folder, it's going to take over the work. So the test demo has been overrun by face recognition. You learn by mistakes. I'm sorry, guys. So let's go through this one. It has everything. It has the Docker file, it has the Docker compose. So this is pretty much a very solid system. If you're interested in face recognition, you can check that out. So let me delete that one, and then I just come and clone back our test demo. Let it clone back in, and then we are going to open it from Visual Studio Code. Yeah, this is our work. So I'm going to come and open it with Visual Studio Code. So for those that were, Visual Studio has an extension for Python that allows you to run it from here. You just come here to the extension, this blocks icon, and then you type Python. On a normal day it works. I don't know why. So this is the Python extension. It's created by Microsoft, who is also the creator of Visual Studio Code. And this allows you to basically run Python from your workstation. Of course, you have to have Python installed, but it allows you to work from it from Visual Studio Code. You don't have to go and run it from the terminal. So we are here in test demo, and we can create one file so that we can do the other commands with. So I'm going to call this test. I'm sorry, test is going to be the word of the day. Test.py, right? And then on this one, you can just do something simple like say oh my goodness, this is harder than I thought. Something I we can say input. So I'm just going to think of a variable name, but I'm drawing blank, so I'm just going to start with the code and then the input will come later. Input. What's your flavor? Oh, someone wants to join. What's your flavor? Yeah. So let's call this flavor. I think that's a good name. And then we are going to keep pressing this button. It's an input request. I want to close this one. Can you close? And print flavor. Welcome, David. So after we've input flavor, we can come and run our code, confirm that it works. What's your flavor? Strawberry. And strawberry is my flavor. Perfect. So next we want to push the code. Pushing the code means sharing it to our GitHub account, right? So you have it here on your workstation and you want to transfer it to your GitHub account or your Bitbucket or whatever Git page you're using. You come here to your terminal. In case of any questions, please ask. So we are on our terminal, and then we are going to say git add, and then full stop, because we want it to add everything. It uses something called regex, regular expression. So full stop means everything. If you want a specific file, you can add a specific file. Adding. Okay, let's check the status first. You can check the status of your repo by doing git status. And we have been told that where was our branch is up to date, changes to be committed, changes not staged, git add, modified. Okay. Okay. Just one moment. Okay. Git status. So we add. Okay, I haven't received an error, so we are good. After you've added, you can come and you've checked the status. If you don't get an error, it means you've done something right. If you come and you check the status, it says it's this one. We have a new file to be committed, and this file has also been modified. So we commit it first to, like, it's like a form of, it's like a purgatory, I'd say. It puts it in like a limbo before you push it to the repository. And M means message, if you have a message that you'd like to put. So you put them in quotes. You say, this is my first work. And it's going to tell you what has changed. So we have 2 files changed, we have 1 insertion, you have 2 deletions. And if you're happy with what's happened, you push your work. If you don't want to push your work, you can do git restore, and then you add the file name. So in this instance, you can say git restore test. Which one? What was deleted? It says readme was deleted, so let's copy, paste. It's embarrassing me here. Readme did not match any file known to Git, but you just said it was anyway. So you have committed our work. I'll look into that in a few moments. And then afterwards, you push your code to the repository by just saying git push. And as you can see, it's pushed our code. It's transferred the copy of our code from our workstation to the repository on GitHub. To confirm that, you come here to test repo and you restore your page. And as you can see, 1 minute ago, this is my first work, test demo folder. If we go inside it, why is it not going inside? It also says we have one branch, which is the main branch, which is all we have. If you want to create a branch, sorry, before you go to creating a branch, does anyone have a question? Okay. If you don't have a question, you can create a branch by coming to this button, this green button, and you create a branch. You can call this traces, and then we create the new branch. So you can see we have the main branch, we have traces branch, and then we have, it's saying it's an active branch, but we haven't really used it. So if you want to push code, that's on GitHub. If you want to create it from the terminal, you come, this is a waste of time. You do git branch, and then we call it something like hello world, and we have git branch hello world created, right? So say we want, you want to get out of git branch to the main branch, you just do git checkout. Like that. And then you can see we've been told we've switched to hello world. If you want to switch back to main, you do the same thing, you do git checkout, or let's see rather from the status what it's going to say. So it says we are on branch hello world and changes have not been staged and every other thing we've done. So no changes to commit. You can use git add or git commit /a to put everything. That's fine. So if you come to, you've checked out to your branch, you do your work, and then you push it to the code. You never, if you have many branches, if you're doing many collaborations, you never push it to the main branch and before it has been approved. But if you want to have a stressful day, you can go ahead. Sijakukataza. So after that, say you want to switch to the master branch, you check out again. It was main, it wasn't master. Yeah. So we are here at main, and if we do our status check, it's going to tell us we are on branch main and we are up to date. I still don't get why it's saying this. I'll look into that and I'll update you guys on the group. But yes, basically you need to know how to create a branch, how to switch between branches. You need to know how to create a branch, how to switch between branches, how to push code and how to pull code. Now, pushing code is from your workstation to GitHub. Pulling code is from GitHub to your workstation. After you've cloned and then you're working with someone, or even we come here to our code base and then we add a file from here. We call this from repo .py, and then we put a comment saying this is our file for pulling, and we commit the changes. We can add this is an example. Okay. I don't understand. It's not getting into that folder. I've made a mistake somewhere. I'll look into this in later and then I'll tell you guys what I did wrong. So we have from repo.py, and this is what we have. Yeah. If we come to our work here, test demo, we only have that. So we come and we pull. And as you can see, it's telling us that you have a new branch. It's giving us updates. There's a new branch called Tracy, and there's a branch called main. But currently we are in the main branch, right? Because we checked out to main. And then afterwards, it's telling us that we have one new file called repo from repo.py, and one change, one insertion. Perfect. If we list, or if we go to our terminal, here is the from repo.py. Okay, so from repo.py, why is this not being picked up? It's so weird. Anyway, so we come and we do some changes, and we say print this is a push request. Oh, there's a test demo and test demo inside a test. Jesus Christ, it's a lot. Okay, I've seen what I did wrong. There's test demo folder inside a test demo folder inside a test demo folder. Let's address that right now. Let's take this one out, these two out. Let's put them here. Then we delete this one, and then we do a git status. Test demo has been deleted, modified. But it's okay. Git add everything, and then we check the status. So we have modified from repo, we have test file, and we have a new file called readme. Perfect. So we push. Pushing means taking it from your workstation to GitHub. Pulling is from GitHub to your workstation. So think of it like an actual verb. You're pushing it to something else. You're pushing something inside a drawer, and then if you want to open the drawer, you pull it out. Yeah, perfect. Oh, everything is up to date. Oh, we didn't commit. I'm sorry. We add and then you commit. I was wondering why it's up to date. So if you do the tag A, it opens a file for you. If you want it to not open the file, you put it in quotation marks. So here, if you're putting it on the file, you don't have to put quotation marks. So you say this is an updated push request. And then we save. And then we push. And as you can see, now you don't have that funny error. It's all green, we are good. And create mode, delete mode, create mode, everything. And then we come here to our repository. Yeah, on main, test demo, and everything is there. So the test file is here, the from repo that we pulled, and then we pushed back, and then the readme file is also here. Sawa. So those are the most basic commands that you will find yourself using all the time. We have looked at cloning. We have looked at git clone. Let me do a history so you guys can see. We have done a git clone over here. Yeah, we've looked at adding, how to add something to before you commit. Adding allows you to check what you have and to check what you're about to commit, and also to specify if you have a particular file. We have git status that allows you to check the status of your project in Git. We have committed our work after you have verified that everything that we want to push is legit. If you want to restore something that you feel was removed, you do a git restore and then the file name. And when you're happy with everything, you push it to the repository. If you have something that someone had added to their work, you do a git pull in order to stay updated so that your repository and your workstation can be updated. And if you want to create a branch, you do git branch and then branch name, which in this case is hello world. If you want to move into that branch, you do git checkout and then you go into the branch name. Yeah, and it's going to give you the updates. You've seen that already. And if you want to move into the main branch, you do git checkout and then main. Okay, perfect. So these are the most common commands. If anyone has a question, they can let me know. But also in the group chat, I'm going to send a PDF that has more commands that you can be familiar with in case of any emergencies, like you find yourself doing the wrong commit or you want to restore a commit. Everything is there. Sawa. And please feel free to ask any questions. I am here to help you guys. Yes, Irene, you have a question?
Okay, so my question is that when I've created a file first and then pushed it to Git, then as the second time I come and make some changes and push it.
Yeah.
Will it push it as a second version, or it will still update the first one that I pushed?
it will update the first one that you pushed. So so like this file, yeah, we've made changes and we pushed it, sindio. And then we want to make edits again. So say for example, do another print. We say this is an edit, right? So we come and we push, we add it first, and then we check the status. So it's telling us that this file has been modified. It's telling us that the file has been modified. So afterwards we commit it. If you want to put the quotation marks, you have to add the -m. So, sorry, I pressed enter. Commit. This is a commit. Normally you're supposed to be more specific, so don't do what I'm doing. This is just for learning purposes. So this is a commit. We've committed it, and then we push to our repository. Perfect. So next, when we come here, which file was that? From repo. We go to from repo. It's saying it has been changed right now, and when you come see it, everything is there. Okay.
But then, where is the shown?
Yeah. There's a history. There's a history tab over here that can show you everything that has been done to that file since it was created. And it also has a hash, so you can see what happened. You can also view the code where it was at that particular point with this icon.
Please click it.
This one.
The first one, okay.
The first one, let's just go back to history. So we've created the from repo, right? And it should start with the comment. You can even download the file as it was at that point. And the next one, the next one is from repo here. I'm sorry, I'm a bit lost. Let me go code from repo, history, and then this is, so we check the first edit. The second edit that happened 7 minutes ago, 3 minutes afterwards, is going to show you now the code that was entered at that time, right? And then the other one is now this latest one that we've done to show you the example, which is this one. So it shows you, it's very particular. You can see what happened at what particular time, and it also shows you who made the changes. Like here it says I'm the one who made the commit, but if it was someone else, if you have so many people working on this project, it's also going to show you who worked on this project. From here you can also filter out which user you want to see made the edit if you have a lot of people working on that project.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. Any other questions? Okay. Thank you guys so much for coming and for taking your time. I appreciate it, and mshinde salama, Mungu awalinde. Take care of yourselves and have a good day. Goodbye.
Hello.
Oh, hi Anthony.
Tracy.
Yes.
Mambo.
Poa sana, niambie.
Very late.
Umechelewa sana, unafaa kupewa fine.
Nipatie. Lazima tungeshughulikia, tulikuwa tunapaka nchi rangi.
Mnafanya vizuri. How can I help you? Niambie.
Actually, nimeingia nikaona hata sita interact because sijaona from the beginning.
Oh, no worries.
So I hope you did a record.
Yes, I did a recording of the session, and I'll upload it before noon, and I'll share it with the class.
Okay.
Yes.
Sawa sawa. Sasa naona wewe na Linux mko
tunasukumana pamoja.
nataka kuimba watu wa Windows waweke Linux.
It's unaona hata GitHub ilitengenezwa na mtu wa Linux. So
I know.
I will work on okay, so I don't have Windows on my machine, but for you, since you keep insisting, I will
No. Yeah. Actually, I think I can install Linux.
No pressure, no pressure.
Najua Linux almost okay.
Yeah.
But sipendi.
I know. It takes a while to get used to it. Lakini ukizoea hutaki kurudi kwingine.
Sasa hapa nang'ang'ana VS Code.
VS Code si iko kwa Windows. You guys have VS Code, you even have iko. Unaweza pata usichukue sababu kuna Visual Studio na kuna Visual Studio Code. Don't take Visual Studio. Take Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio is very heavy. It slows down your computer. Take Visual Studio Code. Let me send you the link right now for Visual Studio Code.
Because actually niko na juu nimekuwa na issue actually. Niko na Visual Studio Code.
Yeah, take Visual
Studio Code.
Chukua Visual Studio Code.
Nime-install.
Let's do this.
The problem is, I have a challenge when it comes to learning my Python over the VS Code.
Okay. That's not a problem. We can schedule a call in the evening, and I can walk you through it.
Okay.
Sawa?
Juu kama nimejaribu kulearn terminal.
Yeah.
Kuna hiyo debugger na hiyo ingine ya linking na hiyo nimeinstall.
That's not.
Bado nilikuwa naona bado kusema Python is not installed.
Okay, we'll troubleshoot it in the evening, usijali.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Git mumesukumana nayo?
Tumesukumana nayo, watu wamelan. Kama watu hawajalan by the waulize maswali.
Ndio naona mlikuwa na commit hapo.
Tumefanya commit na kuclone na kupush na tumetengeneza branch. Yeah. Na kupull na kupush.
Nilifanyanga hizo vitu kitambo.
Sasa ni refresher. It's good that you're familiar with it, so you're just having a refresher. Yeah. Oh, and they stopped calling it origin master. Squeezy, it's just main.